Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Spiritual Unity Radio Network, a station dedicated to the concept that all manifestations of the divine are equally valid. Join Reverend Terry Power HP, Robin McKean, and all the hosts for programming covering a wide range of spiritual topics, right here on Blog Talk Radio.
Who am I? What am I? Where did I come from? Why am I here? Is there a purpose to all of this? Join Hercules Invictus and crew as they seek answers to these and other timeless questions and serve Mount Olympus by safeguarding the path of mystic ascension. Welcome to the Pride of Olympus.
Greetings and welcome to Pride of Olympus. I'm Hercules Invictus, and I welcome you to our first show for the night, the Magisterial Mission, hosted by Michael and Dianne Dunkin. Tonight's guest is Nick Curto, and the topic is Messages from the Gods, Athena, Maitreya, Poseidon, and the Universal Mother. I'm really looking forward to the show. Greetings and welcome, hosts and guests alike.
Greetings, Hercules.
Hi,
Greetings,
Hercules.
Nick.
Hello.
Wonderful.
Hey, good to be here with you guys. Looking forward to the show.
Thank you. We're delighted to hear your voices, both of you.
So I pass the scepter onto the Dunkins, and we may proceed.
All right, well,
You know,
thank
at some
you.
point, I would love to see what that scepter looks like. I really, every time he says that, I'm thinking, what does it look like? Hercules, maybe at some point you could photograph it and send it?
I will bring it to the next DNNY meeting I come to.
Oh, you have a deal, my friend. You have a deal. That sounds great.
Nick and Hercules, we used the scepter in one of our videos that we did. And
very
our
awesome.
scepter, we used one too. It's about, about 10 inches long, I think. It's made of carved jade, and it came from Silai Temple. Now, this is not a Maitreya Great Tao. It's a regular Buddhist temple that we attend and go to, and it was blessed by the monks there.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, and it is in one of the videos. We did use the scepter to bless everyone and all the celestials. So, Hercules, you have a scepter you use too?
My scepter is more metaphorical than anything else, but I do use a Thor's hammer to consecrate things. So I was planning on bringing that, or I will design a new scepter and bring with me. But there will be a scepter next time I'm at the DNNY.
Well, may I ask the question, Dianne and Michael, and of course Hercules, where did the scepter originally come from? Is there a particular culture, or does anybody have an idea?
It is a symbol of authority yielded by kings, royalty.
Like kings, right. And so that's where we think that's the first use of it, was a scepter for kings, rulers.
Yes.
Our scepter is in the form of like fungi. It's Chinese, and so therefore it's like a fungi, kind of like, you think of like a mushroom type of thing.
Oh, wow.
And on each end, and it is called a scepter. And like I say, it was blessed by the Silai Temple monastery there. And it is, I'll send a picture, Michael will send a picture to both of you of it.
Awesome.
Because it is something really important in our home because it was blessed by them. They have at Silai Temple a museum, an Asian museum in their monastery. And it has many, in fact, there's probably 100 of them, 100 of these fungi scepters. And they're almost all made of jade. And they're really very beautiful, and I'll send you a picture of ours.
Dianne, do you know was it used in the Buddhist ceremony itself? Was it used? Did it have a particular place in the ceremonies?
I am told that they do, but I don't know what particular area that they do use it. Maybe I can try and find that out. We do go to Silai Temple. They have the most marvelous brunches.
Wait, have what?
Brunches.
Have what?
All you can eat at the Silai Temple.
Wow.
So
vegetarian.
It's all vegetarian. And they sometimes have 200 or 300 people put through at a lunch or dinner there. It's just a huge temple. It's a monastery where it's like a tourist attraction. I would say it's like a block long and a block wide with all the gardens and everything.
It's one of the biggest Buddhist monasteries in the Western Hemisphere. It's either the first biggest or second biggest. Mm-hmm. It's called Silai Temple. The first word is H-S-I-C. Second word is Lai, L-A-I. So Silai Temple. And the monk who started the temple, his name is Star Cloud. His Chinese name translates in English to Star Cloud. So
beautiful name.
Yeah, one of the biggest temples in the Western Hemisphere. And they have, a university there. They have Silai University. So
we took a class there.
Yeah, Dianne and I took a Buddhist class, and there was like a special class that we went to one time, and the talk was given by Thich Nhat Hanh. I don't know if you guys are familiar with he's a Vietnamese monk who was an activist during the Vietnam War, a Vietnamese Buddhist monk. But he's pretty popular in the U.S. He's got courses that he teaches. He's got you can look him up. You can Google him. It's Thich Nhat Hanh. It's T-H-I-C-H, I believe, N-H-A-T-H-A-H-N, Thich Nhat Hanh. He did some work with a doctor named Dr. David Simon, working on, psychology, mental, what do they call it now? Mindfulness. He has a series on mindfulness, Thich Nhat Hanh. You guys should look him up. He's very, very good. I mean, it's like he talks about walking meditation. I don't know if you guys are familiar with walking meditation, and he believes in really listening in the silence to any problems that you may have, anything that's bothering you or the world, to really go into the silence to find the core root of that problem and really meditate on it and view it, breathing exercises to really find the solution to that particular problem. So he came to a special class at Silai Temple, which was fabulous. And then at Silai Temple, like Dianne said, they have the brunches, the beautiful food, vegetarian food, and they have this museum where they have beautiful artifacts people have made and from history. And we bought one of these scepters. It's a jade scepter, and we used it in one of our Maitreya's temple spiritual gatherings. It was either the second or the third one.
To bless. They use them to bless people.
Yeah.
To bless.
Oh, okay.
People.
Okay.
And
I would think that sounds right to me too. I was thinking that's probably what it was, so I'm not that far off.
Well, also though, to bless the fruit. In the Buddhist, and especially in Maitreya Great Tao, when we went over to Malaysia, they have a great big hall in their church, and they actually have a new temple now since we've been there. But they had like about 50 girls on either side, and the whole center vacant, except for rows and rows of tables full of watermelons and cantaloupes and plates of citrus fruits. And then each person would go up and march up to the altar and then place them on the tables before the altar. And then the priest will bless the giving of these fruits, bless the fruits, and bless the cantaloupes and the watermelons and all. So they're all blessed by those monks there. And then there are some things in the museum that the monks have blessed. We also got a beautiful pendant that is...
Now you're talking about Silai Temple.
Silai Temple now. Now I'm back to Silai Temple.
It's Mahayana Buddhist that she's going back to.
Right.
She jumped to...
I jumped, I'm sorry.
Maitreya Great Tao, but then back to mainline Buddhism.
Right. But at Silai Temple... we bought this beautiful pendant that has the Diamond Sutra, all of the words to the Diamond Sutra written on this tiny little pendant. It's really an amazing thing. And they also have at Silai Temple a little tiny piece that they believe of a little seed-like that they have kept for hundreds of years that they say is from the Buddha. Oh, we don't know, but anyway, you can go see that and decide yourself.
Yeah, it's a remnant.
Where is the location of the temple again? I didn't quite catch where it was located.
Oh, it's in Hacienda Heights, California.
Is that far from you? Or?
Well, it's, I'd say it's probably an hour from L.A.
Oh, okay.
Maybe less than an hour, maybe like 45 minutes southeast, I think, of Los Angeles.
East of LA, okay.
Yeah. But it's really a tourist attraction because it's so huge, and there are so many different gardens that are huge with big statues and everything. Each garden is labeled differently with different celestials, and so forth. It's really an extraordinary place to go. Really
I would love to see that next time I'm out to California. I mean, that really sounds like something to look at. So sign me up. I will definitely want to see that.
Oh, you should.
Well, you're invited, both of you, and we'll take you out for lunch, and we'll treat.
It's another.
I look forward to that time. I really do, and I think that would be an amazing time with you guys and Hercules. That would be wonderful. I wanted to interject one thing about a friend of mine, a dear friend who I graduated with from the Massachusetts College of Art and Design in Boston, and she eventually accepted the Buddhist traditions. And a few years ago, she told me that she had taken, listen to this, a 1-year vow of silence by going to the Himalayas and being in a small, very small little cottage in the middle of nothing. There was nothing around her, no people, nothing at all. And I said to her, how did you read? Did you grow? How did you do this? And she said, there was a place where there was a delivery of food every so often. I never saw that person who delivered my food, and he never saw me. But for 1 year, that's how I ate, with the delivery of the food.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Can you imagine 1 year of total silence? And I said, was it a good experience? And she said, I don't even have words to tell you how wonderful it was.
Yes.
And I hope she said no pun intended.
But anyhow, I thought that was quite remarkable that she did that.
The Catholics do that too. The Catholics will take vows of silence. Even the lay people will do retreats.
Yes. I did one.
Silent
retreat. Silent retreat.
They'll do silent retreats.
Yeah.
But this Buddhist temple, is another example of people in the East, people really wanting to spread, the good news that religion can bring, that gods or God or Buddhas or whatever, these very high up celestials and maybe some close to us celestials, they're trying to spread this, the good news of what the celestials are saying and what the celestials are doing. Just like Maitreya Great Tao, there are lots of Maitreya Great Tao temples also in the world. They're represented. Maitreya Great Tao's represented in 68 different countries, and of course, Buddhism, millions and millions and millions. And I think it's just tremendous that people do this, and I think that it's something that the celestials kind of want us to do in a way. In the Urantia book it said Jesus sent them out 2 by 2 to proclaim the good news of the kingdom of God. I think it's innate within us to have a really deep relationship with God or the gods, and then to share that, And so I know tonight we're talking about the celestials, Greeks, represented by the Greek, represented by those we hear about in the Urantia book, talking to us. And, we've had some really neat experiences along the way, and our most recent is with Poseidon. So we know that you know a lot about Poseidon, Hercules, and we've got a little information too. So can you tell us?
Well, I just wanted to make one mention before we go on with this, is that Venus wanted us to continue with trying as a goal the 5-5-4 plan. And in that, you work your daily job 5 hours a day, but then the other 5 hours you are silent. You don't speak. You either meditate or pray or just relax and read something of spiritual content, but you are silent for 5 hours a day. And that is the goal that she has for us. Now, she said, even if you're not able to do that, try a half an hour. Try a half an hour a day of being totally silent. So this has been a recent message somewhat, the 5-5-4 plan. 5 hours of your job. Maitreya wants to get a 5-hour workday. And then 5 hours complete silence, 4 hours doing the things you need to do, shopping and so forth, and then the rest, getting ready for bed and having a relaxing time. But I just wanted to mention that before we went on, that they actually have given us that they would like us a goal, and the people of this earth, to have as long a period as possible that they can manage of silence.
And that's coming at a time when the media, and we are all in this together, with everything that we have, the television sets, our CDs, our VCRs, our cell phones. There's so many ways that we're getting bombarded every second with information and sound and images, that it seems like the right thing to do would be to do the exact opposite for a while, to kind of maintain balance. Would you say that was correct?
Oh, of course. And the goal is 5 hours. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Oh, goodness. A day.
I think one of the goals, though, it seemed to me like when they were presenting this 5-5-4 plan to us, it seemed like the goal was to be silent so that you could talk to someone other than yourself, and someone other than who's on your cell phone, or receive entertainment from the TV. That it seemed to me like they wanted us to start talking to them.
Oh, definitely. Oh, of course. You have to be quiet to be able to hear them.
That's right.
Because, Hercules, we talked early on about how the father, the local universe father, Zeus, wanted us to thank him for our precious life. And the local universe mother, Hera, wanted us to thank her for all the blessings we receive. And then later on we talked about that the universal father wanted us to thank him for, for helping us to attain world peace and some stability on our planet. It's funny, I go throughout my day, and, I'm a teacher, and I also sing in church, and you guys, you're pretty busy too. I'm very busy, but it seems like the most effective time for me to communicate with them, feel their presence, gain insight, gain healing, is when I am in those quiet times, the silent times.
Very true. I give myself 2 or 3 periods a day, around half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour, of when I meditate. And I proceed until I've reached alpha, and then I've gone a little bit beyond the alpha brainwave pattern. And I find those times very relaxing, very centering, and very rejuvenating. And it's during those hypnagogic, hypnopompic type of times when I receive a lot of my messages from my meditation. So I look forward to that every day.
Oh, that's wonderful. You really almost need as much time as possible, but I don't know how you are, but it takes me a while to get relaxed. I'm kind of a nervous person, I've got 2 kids and teenagers and all, and there's a busy household, but it takes me a while to really settle down. And so I can see why that they're saying, try and take as long as possible, because it takes me a while to get into that state. Now, I know I've heard where some people can get into it right away, and it sounds like you, Hercules, are one of those people. But, boy, I'll tell you, it takes me a while to really settle down,
Well, but they're asking for 5 hours.
Yeah, they're asking for... I don't give that to them. But, I mean, that's the goal.
When you're living in a place like New York City, and I'm on 2 major streets. I'm on 86th Street and 3rd Avenue. Both are major streets with trucks and taxis and everything else. And believe me, when you hear the sirens and the ambulances and name it, and the people and the children and everything else, it's a symphony unto itself. However, and here we go, when I get in an elevator and I go up to the 25th floor where I have my little apartment and close the door, it's like going up into a little mountain, because all of a sudden all those noises are very muted. And I can honestly tell you that it balances me very much to be able to get away from the symphony of the city and go into a very quiet area. So in my case, being in a place like this, a very, very busy city, to do that, it really helps me. And I totally get what you're saying, and you need that quiet time. And that's also when you have wonderful ideas, and imagination can take over also and help you.
Of course. 25th floor. Well, you're going all the way up to heaven. That is heaven, isn't it?
Well, in a way, I never, until I moved into this building when I moved to New York, I've always been on the first floor, on the ground floor, always. So this was quite a, getting in an elevator and going for like a minute ride, up. But the building itself has 36 stories, so I can't even imagine.
Goodness. So where did you live? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, when I was in Boston, I lived in right near the Mission Hill area, next to where the big Metropolitan Museum is in Boston on Huntington Avenue. And so, and Boston's a very, many ways, fairly more flat than New York by a long shot. So I always lived on the ground floor wherever I was. So this was quite something to call home on the 25th floor of a building. So,
it's I just want to say it's interesting because I haven't been doing it for a long time, but I used to have a practice where when I would lay down and want to meditate, that I would visualize going up a floor, up a second floor. Actually, I went in a tree. I went into a tree and visualized going up the center of the tree until you get all the way above the clouds.
Ooh.
And then you stay there.
I love that imagery. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and then when you come down, of course, then you should be pretty relaxed, But that's what it reminded me of, that meditation I used to do. You're going up 25 floors in the elevator. Wow.
And, in some of the new buildings that are going up, and there's quite a few right now, they're rising way over 100 floors.
Oh, no.
You can imagine some of these buildings, the new ones, they're like slivers. Wait till you come to New York and see the landscape and see these new buildings.
Well,
and
I haven't been there for
cases,
so long, so I'm sure it's really changed.
Well, I look forward to having you guys visit. That would be incredible. And some of the people have to switch elevators because one elevator won't go up all the flights. You have to switch halfway to another elevator to continue up to the 125th floor, whatever it is. So even though I can't even imagine, 25, I look down and the people are very tiny. You can see the cars. But can you imagine living on the 125th floor? Oh my goodness.
Well, it'd be just like my meditations. You go up there, and I wonder if they feel like that, if they have that feeling that, once you go up, it's kind of like you shed all of your problems and everything, and when you arrive at the top, you're free of it all. I don't know if you guys...
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly how it works. It really does do that, and I feel very different when I go from the ground floor to the 25th floor. It's a different mindset, so you're exactly right what you're saying.
Also, too, guys, and I know you've been on airplanes enough, probably more than I have, but also when you're in an airplane, and you're up above the clouds, boy, I'll tell you, I don't know if you're like me, but, everything is gone. It's like all your worries, all your problems, everything is out the window, and you just feel like, oh my golly, if I could live like this all the time and every day and not have any problems and have this wonderful feeling, that all shed.
It does do that. When I'm in an airplane, I can't help but continually look out the window. When other people are reading a magazine, I'm thinking, look what's outside,
Right.
Even if it's just wonderful clouds, but sometimes you can see the landforms or the mountains or, in some cases, the ice or the trees in the forest. I'm glued. I'm absolutely glued to the window when I'm in the plane.
Isn't it a fantastic feeling? You feel like you don't have any worries or of any kind. You're really free. It's fabulous.
It's good therapy, what you're saying here, but it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It is.
Well, I do my meditations. My meditations mostly are centered around my post-work day. I call it stabilizing. And what it is when there's a major work event that I'm finished with. I teach pretty much 8-9 hours a day at the school, and I've got, kids of all different ages, and, they're not necessarily Buddhist monks who are quiet and taking vows of silence and meditating all day long. They're pretty busy, and it can get overwhelming on your nervous system, as you know, Hercules, because you've done a lot of teaching.
Yes.
So at the end of my work day, or at the end of a big work event, the first thing I do is I either lay down or sit up and I meditate. And what I do is I shed the first activity, I guess you could say, is to relax all the muscles in my body, clear my mind, shed the stress and the anxiety of the day, get myself stabilized, so to speak. And then when I get to a point of stabilization and I feel that release and I feel more healthy, then I kick it into meditation. So I first shed all of it, and then I get into the meditation. And I've been more disciplined about it now, so that after every major, like when I sing at the church, because I put out, when I lead the singing, and I'm at the Basilica, I'm at the Mission Basilica San Juan Capistrano, it's a national shrine, it's a big church, it's a basilica, and there are a lot of people, that I have to lead the singing for. It's a Catholic church. So there are over 300 to 500 people every Mass. So I'm putting out a lot of energy, and I'm putting out spiritual energy, because I'm putting a spiritual message out when I sing and when I'm inviting them to sing. So that's a major work event for me, right? So when I'm done with that, I come home, I stabilize and meditate. And after every work event, I do it. And I'll tell you, I've been doing it for about a month or two now, religiously, and it is paying incredible dividends for my health. It's really good, because I'm not going straight from a major activity and a major stressor on my nervous system and on my mind to something else, to more work and more work and more work.
Absolutely.
I'm renewing. And in the process, in these last couple months, my conversations with the celestials has really increased, and I've gotten more refined in my communication with them. So I definitely recommend stabilizing/meditation for anyone out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
A lot of Urantia book readers that I know do meditate. A lot of times they do it in the morning, early in the morning, before they start their day or before they go to work, and they do spend time alone meditating. And so, but I'm sure that goes for many, many spiritual callings. But the bottom line is, it's healthy, and it helps so much to relax and tune into what you need to tune into. So, on all cases, it's a great way to relax and to have a whole different sense of communication. So it's a very good idea.
Yeah. How about you, Nick? Do you have any particular practices that you practice, or is it like, are you kind of like Thich Nhat Hanh that meditates the whole day long? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I wish. No. I've never been busier in my life than right now.
Well,
I can honestly say that, and I really have had quite a brisk, shall we say, journey. But but I have to say, it's never been happier, because I'm doing the things that I want to do, and that's the key. As I'm sure you all would agree that if you're working with things that you're passionate about, that you really care about, it's really not even working. It's the joy of living.
Yeah, and your mind
so
is,
that. Yeah. But to answer your question, there's no particular time. Occasionally, there are quiet moments, and I look forward to that. And sometimes they can come up unexpectedly. But what you're saying is, tune into that and try to get some time. So not a particular every day at a certain time. It's not like that. Well, my partner, Hal, however, does do a meditation every single day, and it's usually a half an hour to an hour when he leaves wherever he is, my home or his or someplace else, and goes and meditates. And that's a daily thing that Hal does every single day of the year.
Well, in New York, is there any place near you where you could go, where they kind of encourage that, like a garden or some special place that might...
Well, luckily, I'm very close to the Central Park. And because
Central
I'm
Park.
up in the Central Park, and because I'm up in the 80s, because Central Park starts in the 60s, so and it goes to 125th Street, but by 86th Street or so, a lot of the tourists will be down in the area of the Plaza Hotel and the very, very busy section of Manhattan. So a lot of tourists don't venture this far up, It's usually the people who live here. So it's a quieter place up in the 80s and 90s, and we have a huge reservoir right here. And joggers jog around this huge body of water, which is right in Central Park. So there's plenty of places to really relax. And thank God that they left that park and made that park and maintained it as well as they have.
Of course, yes, I know when we were there last, and we were right downtown. It was so busy, and oh my golly! But I went to the Metropolitan Museum. Now that's my place, my heaven in New York is the Metropolitan. We went every
I don't
day.
blame you. That's an
Day.
incredible place, absolutely.
Yeah.
And they change the exhibits all the time, and I never ever get bored or once going to that. There's so many areas of that museum. I don't think you could even see it all in one lifetime. It's so big.
Well, I did as good as I could for those 7 days.
Well, the next time you guys are in New York, though, we'll make certain that we're there. And there's also a cafeteria and a couple of places to have coffee and cake there. So you can stay there the whole day and into the night. You know, you really can.
Oh, yeah.
Central Park.
All I can do is I just look at the Met's catalogs. They send me catalogs. I order them. Usually you have to pay for them, but I do, and that's the way that I am able to travel armchair there where you are, you lucky guy.
Also, they do have a website, and so does the Modern Art, and you can go to the websites, and you really can get a pretty good preview of what's in the museums. So that's another way for anybody to, if you're not right here in Manhattan, to take a look and see what's going on. And some of the exhibits are extraordinary. Oh,
yes. Oh, well, I loved it. Yeah, that's wonderful. Now, Hercules, do you ever get over there?
I meditate at home mostly, but anytime I have a quiet a period of time, I'll meditate, even if it's outside walking or sitting in a park. Did we have to share some messages tonight from Athena and Poseidon?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the clock, and our journey is over a while. So I wanted to make sure that the Celestials got a chance to say what they needed to say to us.
Boy, does the time go faster or what? The time goes so quickly in these hours. It's incredible. It really is. Go ahead.
I wanted to mention a few things from a team meeting that we had on February the 17th. We weren't able to get it, 2019, on the 17th of February. It was at 4 p.m., and we had it upstairs in the great room. And this was a very special meeting. We were able last time we talked to talk about Athena, but we didn't get to Poseidon. And this is really a most wonderful, wonderful celestial. Now, we had at this meeting, we had Gabriel, who has promised to attend every meeting that we have. And the second person that we had was the Universal Father. And next to him, the Universal Mother. And then we had Poseidon, who they call Neptune also. Probably most people will probably think of him as Neptune.
Yes.
Poseidon came to us in a little different type of way of a celestial. Usually I'm always presenting all these blonde celestials with blue eyes, and or gold eyes or this type of thing. But Poseidon has very stark black hair, and it's straight and long. Now, I don't know how he's presented in mythology because Hercules would be able to tell me all that. But this is the way he presented himself to us. He came in a beautiful turquoise robe, and we'd been wanting to talk to him for a long time. And we were told that he was the husband of Demeter, who we've been having quite often, and her other name is Ceres, the Roman. And Poseidon means the husband of the earth. And, of course, Demeter definitely, I would say, was a goddess of the earth, most assuredly. Now, Poseidon told us that he was not directly working with the Magisterial Mission under, we have Maitreya, And, of course, we have Gabriel and the universal Father and Mother. He was not, because his part of it is more as a supporter as the universal Father and Mother are. Now, his consort, Demeter, Ceres, she is definitely a part of the Magisterial Mission, and she's very involved with Maitreya, with the food aspect and supplies for the earth, but mainly her part is for the soil. The soil, healthy soil, nutrients in the soil, healthy foods for everyone to have plenty.
And people becoming healthier to be able to contribute to the Magisterial Mission on a human level. Right. So
Awesome.
We found out that Poseidon, his job, part of his job, he is known as the god of what we would say water.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we were trying to understand his talk. We had a little difficulty because we weren't quite sure of what he was talking about in the beginning. He was saying that, of course, he is the god of the oceans. Now, not particularly rivers. Now, actually, he's saying that he is the god of rivers. In mythology, Greek mythology, they like to give the god of rivers to different celestials. But he says he's over all the element of water. And not just on our planet or on Neptune, but he has some jurisdiction for this whole super universe.
Yeah, the whole super universe of Revantum.
Now, not that much. I mean, his priority is Neptune, and right now he is helping Ceres with the Earth. But the interesting thing that he told us, which was very interesting, and this is the part that we were confused about, is Poseidon was telling us that he was involved with the people under the ocean. And this threw us at first because we didn't understand. We thought maybe, you see these movies, of his son is called Triton, who's in the movie of The Little Mermaid and all this stuff. And we were saying, well, are you the god of the mermaids and all that, And he's saying, no, I'm not talking about that. He was talking about the beings, intelligent beings under the ocean, not in the ocean, but below the ocean. And that's what took us a long time in the team meeting to figure out and find out and understand. And then we asked him, we said, well, we have 7 billion people on the earth. We said, do these people under the ocean have any connection with the people above on the land, of this earth?
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't go into Neptune yet. And he said, yes, there was a connection. So we had a really hard time pulling out what this connection was.
Same number.
Huh?
Same number.
Yes. Then we asked him, well, how many people or these beings are under the ocean, that have a connection with the people that are above the ocean on the land? And he said the same number as above, 7 billion.
Wow.
So then we really started saying, oh, my golly, what is going on here? We were really thrown. In fact, we may not even put out this video because we were so in the dark about what he was talking about for so long trying to figure this out.
Yeah, but we finally figured it out.
Well, a little bit.
Tell us, please. Tell us.
But it's funny because during the team meeting, I mean, we look like we're bungling around, because we're trying to decipher what he's talking about. And some of these, the way they set up these cosmological systems in the solar system is far more complex than we could ever imagine, So I think that we were trying to get a basic understanding of what he was doing or what he was saying to us, and it was really tough. But eventually we figured out what was going on. What was going on is, well, he may be in charge of all the water element in the super universe. the fish and the mammals in the ocean and the coral and all that stuff. But we started trying to apply some of our other teachings to what was going on. So Dianne was asking, well, are you in charge of the beings in the air, right? And and because the air is a different element from the water element that we learn about, right? And we applied the Urantia book teachings of the 7 adjutant mind spirits coming through the local universe mother as mental, as mind. It's our version of the cosmic mind on our level is brought to us by the local universe mother. So you have 7 adjutant mind spirits. No, that's not what he was talking about. So then we applied some of our teachings about the water element through astrology and through theosophy and other things like that. And the water element is associated not necessarily with mind, but with emotion. With the emotions. So the connection was this, that we have a connection, or that these people underneath the earth or underneath the floor of the ocean have a connection with us because Poseidon is in charge of the emotional bodies of the people of the earth.
Because of the sides and our emotional nature, the astrality of it. Yes, that is correct.
Yes, and this just took us so long to understand what he was telling us.
And there's an extension of this, guys, and the extension of this is that Poseidon is assisting in the Magisterial Mission because he's going to be working indirectly with people as opposed to Venus, Mother Venus, who will be working directly with people's hearts, and Gabriel will be working directly with people's minds for truth, but Poseidon will be working indirectly with people's emotional bodies.
Our emotional bodies that have to also be evolved, too, to have all of this happen. So he's not directly part of the Magisterial Mission. He has been working with people's emotional bodies. Now, we asked him, how long have you been, working with the people of this particular Earth? And he told us that for about 1 million years. So he has been working with humans since their very earliest time when they became more of a modern human, and certainly more able to be worked with. And then you get into the Urantia book around 34,000, BC. Then you have people where they are finally people like us with our intelligence and so forth. So he is someone who works with, we were trying to say, well, what are these beings? And he was saying, well, they're more fluid. And we finally got it, that the emotional body, it doesn't, and then he was telling us, well, they don't see, that they intuit and they feel. And then we finally got it, that he was working with all of the emotional bodies. And, the thing is, he works with also the animals. They have emotional bodies, and even the creatures in the sea, too. But he was trying to explain to us that these creatures that were below the level of the sea were the emotional bodies that are connected with us. So we don't know quite how they are connected. I mean, how that fits in. We just ordered a book. Hercules, you might be interested in this. I've been telling you that I was really kind of raised by Mr. Blessing, William L. Blessing, when I was a little girl. He was born in 1900, and I wasn't born until 1943. So, of course, he was older, but he was a Baptist minister at first and then went on. But just now, and here I am at my age, and just this month, Michael gave me a present, and he ordered one of Mr. William Blessing's books for me. Now, I've had most of Mr. Blessing's literature over the years, But this book I never had. And Nick, you know, I think you would be very interested in this book.
This is right up your Disclosure
This is
Network,
for you.
Allie.
Let me tell you the name of it. It's called Inner Earth People and Outer Space People.
Oh, yes. All right. I'm there. Got it. Oh, wow.
You're there.
Me too.
It's part of the title is there a golden paradise inside our Earth?
Whoa.
And all of this. Now, you see, unfortunately, Mr. Blessing passed away before I was really able to start asking questions about his all these teachings that he was putting out. And, of course, he passed away a long time ago. But I finally got the book that he wrote on the Inner Earth People. So when
I'm looking this up on Amazon while we're here. What does the cover look like?
Yeah, we bought it on Amazon, and as a matter of fact, there are a couple different covers. You want to get the cover that has Inner Earth People, Outer Space People in red lettering, and it has a UFO. It has a scene, like an inner Earth scene, you know, like you'd see in Journey to the Center of the Earth or whatever.
Yes.
But very stylized and beautiful. And there's a UFO that's flying through this cavern in this inner Earth landscape. And it's by William L. Blessing. It's William Lester Blessing, and he was a Baptist minister, but he shows in this book how the Bible says that there are people in outer space and that there are people inside of the earth living. Biblical references throughout Old Testament, New Testament, very, very fascinating. But the reason I got the book, guys, is because Poseidon had talked to us about the inner earth beings.
Yeah.
These are emotional body counterparts, you know. And then, so I got her that, and you guys should check it out. It's on Amazon. There are a variety of covers. There's like a brown cover, but you should get the one with the picture. It's very beautiful. And
that edition with the cover you're describing, that's the person who published my essays in the anthologies, the same publisher.
Is it
really?
Yes, Timothy Green Beckley, yes.
Oh, yes, that's who, he put the additional updated material in this book, Timothy Green Beckley.
Yeah, probably since he died. Oh, I just want to mention, since we're running out of time, Poseidon is also very involved with the Mars part of the Magisterial Mission. Now, the situation is this. Because he is the god over water, after these energies, these intelligent energies are removed from Mars, and we were talking about that when we did the Athena talk on the radio. After that, so that means after the Magisterial Mission is over, then Poseidon will be ahead of reseeding and repopulating Mars, and he will be the one in charge of bringing water back into the planet so that it can be reseeded and can be repopulated. I mean, there has been water on there, and he is going to restore it. So he says that will be his part. He's not actually part of the Magisterial Mission, but after it is over, then he will begin his part on Mars in that way.
Well, if anyone can do it, Poseidon can, most certainly so.
Right.
So supposedly he's going to be working with the emotional bodies of these negative focalizations of energy.
Under the ocean.
But not on Mars.
No.
Okay.
No.
So what about Mars? Just basically the.
That is a whole different situation. That Athena and Venus
Oh,
and,
that's right. You said the
Gabriel
the
and so forth.
reseeding and repopulation.
Yes, he's going to be reseeding and repopulating after, and putting in, because what do you have to have for people? You've got to have food, and you have to have water to produce that food, and you have to have water available to make the planet bloom again.
Yeah, it's after the reseeding. Yeah.
Yes.
After these negative focalizations of energy are
removed from Mars, then he will do that. Yeah. So I just wanted to get that in.
And that is an excellent place to wrap up today's show, with water being brought back to a place where there is no water, and so a new cycle of life can begin. How can folks tap into the wonderful things that you're doing? You're doing many wonderful things.
Oh, thank you, guys. You know, we might. I just want to put this in really quick. Maybe we could have an episode sometime with Nick on and you, Hercules, and we could maybe, if after you guys get the book, The Inner Earth People and Outer Space People, we could discuss it a little bit maybe, and we could talk about Dianne's experience with William.
That sounds like a plan.
I know that both of you have so much knowledge about UFOs and things like that, and that would be a really fun thing.
Yeah. So we have a YouTube channel. We now have 68 videos up on our YouTube channel. We have wonderful interviews with you, Hercules, and we have celestial team meetings. We have spiritual gatherings where we talk to the celestials. We have a couple of talks that I've given, Urantia book talks. We have some of our songs that are in tune with the Magisterial Mission message, and some of our artwork. So check those out on YouTube. It's Michael and Dianne Dunkin is the name of the channel. It's Michael and Dianne, Dianne. Dunkin is our last name, Dunkin. That's Michael and Dianne Dunkin. And if you want to contact us personally, my email is michaeldunkin1@hotmail.com. And don't forget to visit Urantia book sites, urantiabook.org, truthbook.com. Lots of wonderful, you can download the Urantia book and read lots of other ancillary materials for that.
Thank you so very much, Michael and Dianne. Always a pleasure to be speaking with you from across to the other coast. And I'm looking forward to the day where we can sit down, have a cup of tea or coffee together, and converse face to face.
Oh, and I'd love to hear someday you talk about Poseidon. I'd like to know something about him.
We'll plan an episode on that as well. So thanks again, Dianne and Michael. And here Nick has rejoined us. Thank you, Mr. Curto, for joining us. And I will talk to all of you very soon.
All right.
Much love to everyone.
God bless everybody. God
Much
bless.
love.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Olympian blessings to all who have joined us on our adventure. Now go forth and create a better world, one filled with light and love. On behalf of the Pride of Olympus and her crew, may your journeys be joyous.
Thanks for listening to the Spiritual Unity Radio Network. Join us 7 nights a week for exciting programming covering a variety of expressions of faith. And remember, all manifestations of the divine are equally valid.